Welcome to our world-renowned podcast, Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray. I'm a TEDx and keynote speaker and author. Also, I'm executive producer of the movie Show Her the Money. Plus, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. Our weekly show features interviews with powerhouse women founders, funders, and change makers that are sure to inspire you. Let's go. Welcome to this week's edition of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation, as well as executive producer of Show Her the Money movie. And one of the big fans of Show Her the Money movie is our next guest because she is really into venture capital, helping college girls learn about VC and how to get involved as a career path, as a funding path for entrepreneurs, for an investment path. Her and I are so aligned. Please welcome to the show the CEO of Girls into VC, Sarah Phillips. Hey, Sarah, how are you?
Hi, Catherine. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. And you're coming to us from Princeton today,
From
right?
Princeton, live from New Jersey.
Cool. And gosh, you and I were just at your Girls into VC Summit at Harvard just a couple months ago. It was amazing. You did such a great job with that event. And I'm saying that so that more people put this on their radar for next year.
Yes, it's not out yet, but in October, we're hoping to have our next summit back at Harvard, continuing the tradition.
Oh, great. Do you have a date yet?
October 10th, tentatively, but
October
it's not
10th.
official out. So everyone who's watching this, you get a sneak peek.
Okay, fantastic. So let's talk about what is Girls into VC, because not everybody knows. So I'm going to let you give us your 1 minute overview.
Yeah, so Girls in VC is an official nonprofit. We have 501(c)(3) status, and we're comprised of 10,000 members across 75 countries, 6 continents. And our biggest program is we have college chapters. So a lot of you who are maybe in college listening in, we are at 25 universities and growing. And so we are a community that you can actually find on campus that's accessible for all women that want to learn more about venture. Our whole thesis and our DNA is to provide free access to mentorship, educational programs, startup externships, and VC externships. Really get your hands dirty into understanding what venture is and getting real exposure as a college student. And we just rolled out, we posted on LinkedIn, a high school program. So we're getting even younger and being able to reach a younger audience and older audience through our regional lead program. So we have events around the country, and it's been exciting to work at Girls in VC.
I am so excited to hear you're doing high school because, we created our college educational program, but I always wanted to do one for high school. And I agree with you. We can't start too young. Here we are getting only 2% of venture capital. And the way I see it changing, and we talked about this at your summit, is with programs like Girls into VC, teaching women at a younger age what is venture capital and why is it so important to our future and why women need to be a part of it. We are innovators, we are creators, we are investors. We need to participate in venture capital. And in order for that to happen, we have to know what it is, right?
100%. That's exactly why we exist at Girls in VC.
Yeah. And, I had Isabella Mandis, who, of course, was the founder of Girls into VC a few years ago. I had her on the podcast, and now you're the new CEO. Very exciting because she's graduated, right? And gone on to do great things. And I just think it was an ingenious idea. I think she saw a need, and I remember her telling me she put it up online and woke up the next morning and had so many responses that she couldn't believe it. And it's so exciting to me to see that so many women in college age sector are interested in venture capital because that never happened in my generation. We didn't know what venture capital was. No one was talking about it. I'm also on a mission with our film to get more women over 40 thinking about venture capital. but I think the generational game changer is what you're doing, having people, having women learn about it at a younger age. All students, but specifically women, because they've kind of been cut out of the venture capital world and we really need them to be a part of it. Less single digits working in venture funds, not many making decisions of where the money goes. That needs to change. And I feel like you and I and our initiatives, we're helping rebuild the venture capital ecosystem from the ground up so that it's inclusive of women and people of color and LGBTQ, all of these sectors that have not been a part of venture capital, right?
Yeah, and I think we also forget to say the add of talent, right? 50% of the world are women, and we're not investing in them, and we're missing out on the next best technologies and investments. So it's not just an accessibility thing, it's also a great investment. Women are great investments to make in for all of these companies. The return rate is actually better. So I think we forget that piece as well. It's a smart decision to invest in women.
100%. I mean, the research shows that your return for every dollar invested is 70 cents from women entrepreneurs and only 30% from men. And I think the reason is women are more careful with the money because they don't get it so easily, they don't get as much, so they have to stretch it and they end up being more profitable more quickly and
Yeah.
often exit quicker. So why wouldn't men and women be investing in women entrepreneurs and innovations? And like you said, we can't leave all that brain power on the sidelines. It will affect everything from the environment to technology to our future if we're not using the innovations of women. So you're currently at 25 universities. If it's not at their university, they can contact you at Girls into VC, right? And become possibly become a leader in starting a chapter. What is the criteria to start a chapter?
Yeah, great question. So we have an official application process. So you can actually go to our website and apply to become a chapter lead. And our goal is we want to see three things. First, you have to be a leader. So you want to create a community on campus that is accessible. A lot of the business clubs that exist tend to be very exclusive and hard to get into. That's really where Girls in VC outshines because we're not that. We're supposed to be a hub for women on every college campus where you know there are friendly faces that want to help you and mentor you in a big sister way. So we want to see the passion and the leadership skills. That does not mean you need VC or finance backgrounds, but really talk about anything you did in high school or you've done in college so far that demonstrates that level of hardworking nature, but also deep passion. The second thing is we want to understand how you align with our mission. So why do you want to start a female organization on your campus? What about Girls into VC stands out for you? And how do you see Girls into VC fitting into your ecosystem? Because we realize that every college campus is inherently different, and there are things that we don't understand about your school. So, understanding how you see Girls into VC really being a match within your university. And then the last thing is part of what we do as college chapters is offer a college fellowship. So we give an educational background to all of our members completely for free, with the goal of you're coming in, we want to give you as many educational resources as possible so that as you go on to think about your career in venture capital or starting a company, you have a foundational basis. So we are looking for the president and the chapter lead some exposure to finance and venture just so we can see demonstrated interest and understanding of the concepts that we're expecting you to teach.
I love that. And you're at 25 campuses now, and I feel like it's growing really rapidly. I know any of the campuses I talk to, they're immediately like, yes, yes, we want them there. And yeah, I think I imagine within a year you're going to be at over 100 campuses. That's just my projection.
Hope so. And
I
you have
think,
been a huge help for that. So thank you.
yeah, we're a big fan of this program. And so what are some stories that have come out of this? I imagine, you get all these amazing, brilliant women together. I think there was how many women were at your summit?
400.
Yeah, 400 women 400 very bright women from all these different campuses. I met them from everywhere. Of course, Princeton and Harvard, but all of the schools around that area and other states all came together. It was so dynamic having them all in one room, great speakers. And what are some stories that came out of that?
Yeah, out of the summit specifically, or just girls in VC?
Or just either. Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with the summit because you were there and spoke so well on how to show her the money booth, which was awesome. Um, I'll give you two stories. One, we added this year a founder fair, and it was really exciting. You had a booth there too, where we actually got to have the people behind businesses from CPG to we had different AI platforms to material sciences. There was a real range of women that were representing their companies. And you couldn't make it up. There were people lining out the door, lining up to be able to talk to these founders, try their products, sample the skincare, try the jewelry. Like it was so beautiful seeing so many women in line and seeing people that they want to be in 10 years. I think that is the biggest thing that Isabella has done for me. I saw someone that I deeply respected and believed if she could do it, so could I. And I think the founder fair did just that. And it wasn't even the connections that people were making. In the line, as I was handing out Baked by Melissa, sent her cupcakes, girls were becoming friends. And I think that is the power of a lot of these events, is you're not just leaving with, resume experience and connections in the business world, but you're leaving with a network of women that you deeply trust and admire and ultimately become friends with. And I think, that is the power of female empowerment. That is the power of female spaces. There's a level of sisterhood that you can't manufacture, but that happens naturally. And every event that Girls into VC does, I'm reminded of that, and deeply inspired. So that's one story from the summit.
And they all had so much in common, which is why they enjoyed meeting each other, right? First of
Yep.
all, they were all interested in venture capital, which I'm super excited to hear. And many of them entrepreneurs. And you're right, the energy in the room was palpable. It was great. They were lined up around the block to meet and greet the entrepreneurs and learn about their products, either as a customer or maybe as an investor. It was really great. Yeah.
Yeah. One more story from this summit. So at the founder fair, one of the founders actually met an investor who she now has a relationship with, before raising any capital, has a relationship with an investor. And she also took on 10 Girls into VC members as externs. So now they all have summer internships from the summit, and they have a mentor that's the CEO of a mental health company. So I can't even describe the impact that happened at the summit and keeps happening. But those are two stories that just give a little sneak peek into what happened on that day.
I love that. And then girls into VC in general, I imagine for these people that are the leaders of the chapters and the members that there have been some game-changing stories there too.
Yeah. So last week we actually launched a regional lead program. So we've done a great job at expanding on college campuses and now high schools, but early career professionals are a demographic that I've always wanted to represent. And we hosted our first New York City community event that our good friend Lata came to, which was very kind.
Yeah, this was
And
in
we
Central Park, right?
in Central Park,
Who
cherry
doesn't
blossom
love Central
season.
Park?
And we did something similar to the summit where we invited two female founders who actually gave live taste testings of their products. So we had a chocolate health protein company and we had a candied snack nut brand. And then we had around 20 to 40 women that were all in their early careers across consultants and people in law school and women that had just finished master's programs, all located in New York City. And again, there was a buzz because, first of all, a lot of these women are working really high power jobs, and it's hard to meet other women who are passionate about the venture space who want to learn more. Creating those connections is very hard to do. And at Central Park yesterday, we saw that buzz and electricity really happening, and also got to feature again two female founders. So it was a win-win. Another example of just the power of coming together and creating intentional spaces for community.
Love that. You know, I, after your summit, was at the airport. This is a great story. And I saw on the in one of the stores there, chocolate quinoa crunch. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh, I saw that at the VC Summit. I'm going to buy that because I know it's a woman-owned business and it
Yeah.
sounds interesting. OMG, the product was so great. I'm like a healthy snack, delicious, amazing. And that was one little story that came out of there. I met so many amazing people at your summit, other speakers, attendees, and, obviously collaborating with some of them after that. So anybody that can get to the Girls into VC Venture Summit, that's going to happen in October, run, don't walk. Especially if you're in college, an entrepreneur, wanting to learn about venture capital, wanting to meet other amazing women, this is a definite go-to. And I want to say, we did play our trailer there for Show Her the Money, and the enthusiasm was so great about our movie. And I know that's how we all met. That's how I met Isabella. She came to a screening, and then we got to know each other through that briefly. But the Show Her the Money movie, which teaches women in an entertaining, engaging storytelling way about venture capital, has been just so amazing at bringing people together. And, it is a great learning tool. And I love that we're collaborating on how do we do more of that at these college campuses. We've done 30 plus campuses, but we're really looking to focus on that this year. We have our VC 101 experiential educational program that's an online curriculum that goes with it. Because believe it or not, so many of the schools said to me, we have an entrepreneurial program, but we don't have much about venture capital. Could you build a curriculum to go with your movie? We want the students to see the movie. We also want a curriculum. And so that's how that all unfolded. And between what you're doing, what we're doing, it just feels like we're getting a lot of momentum at colleges for women to get started in this venture capital space. And that makes me so happy and so excited for the future because that's how we're going to move that 2% needle. Wouldn't you agree?
Totally agree. Couldn't have
Yeah,
said it better.
100%. Having more women work in it, having more women understand it, having more women funded by it, and having more women funding women through venture capital. This is the key to us changing this. And we need all hands on deck. So everybody listening to this podcast needs to come learn about Girls into VC, Show Her the Money movie, and our college program so that their college and people in their circle understand how to learn about it because I think a lot of people are interested in venture capital, but they don't know what it is and they don't know how to learn about it. So I just love what you're doing. So any other things that you're wanting to talk about that are on your agenda besides the summit?
Yeah. So we just launched a new program, Catherine, called the Venture Scout Program, Venture Research Scout Program. And we onboarded 7 scouts. So they're all college students, excited about venture, excited about getting reps of sourcing companies. And they're actually pooling from female founders in our network, and they're doing their own outsourcing and putting together an individualized newsletter for investors. We have a huge VC investor network, and they've all filled out our form indicating what types of check sizes that they would like to invest in these companies and what verticals they're focused on in regions of the world. And our scouts are actually talking to these female founders, putting together an individualized newsletter, and sending it out to the VC operators with the goal of, I mean, we've talked a lot about that 2% of VC dollars goes to women. How do we change that? First, we do that by giving female scouts the opportunity to go out and do the real work. We give that to female founders by increasing exposure to investors. And we give that to investors by doing the free due diligence of here are fantastic female companies that are looking for capital. It's a win-win for all sides. So we just launched this, and newsletters are going out in the next few weeks to our investors. And we're excited, even though it doesn't guarantee capital, it guarantees exposure. And so we're really excited about this new opportunity.
Yeah. And it might not guarantee capital, but for sure, you're definitely perpetuating putting that capital in the hands of women entrepreneurs. And that's all you can do is help bridge that gap, plant the seed, and connect those people. I think that's an amazing program. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. So anything else that you'd like to share, or how do people find the website and find you on social?
Yeah, so we just updated our website. It's girlsintovc.com, and you can find all of our programs there, including the chapters I spoke about, the high school programming, the fellowship, externships, and scout program we just spoke about. We also have a newsletter that comes out every Tuesday, so you can follow that on Beehive. Again, just look at girlsintovc.com/Beehive, and you can subscribe there and get it every Tuesday. And then our Instagram and LinkedIn are very active. Again, Girls into VC. And I recommend looking up your region of the world. We just expanded to Amsterdam, South Africa, and Cape Town. London's coming soon, and we're across the US. So even if you're not a college student or a high school student, look out for events happening in your region of the world.
Wow. So you're going to do events in those areas.
Exactly. With
Oh
the
my
focus on
God.
early career professionals.
Unbelievable. So, and I love that, anyone listening who's an investor can get on that newsletter, find out about how to connect with these founders. Founders can get involved, and then, of course, college students. So, I love that there's so many different types of people that can participate in this program. And is yours, remind me, is it a nonprofit?
It is nonprofit.
Right. So people can take their DAF and also invest or donate to, I should say, this amazing program if they want to see it flourish.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great way. You can always donate on our website too. There's a link to donate.
Love it. Love it. Okay, well, thank you so much for being an amazing guest, Sarah. I think you're extraordinary. I love your program. I'm so happy that we can shout it from the rooftops today. And of course, everybody, you can find Sarah Phillips on LinkedIn. You can also find me, Catherine Gray, Catherine with the C, Gray with an A, and visit our websites, showherthemoneymovie.com, as well as sheangelinvestors.com, that has a lot of resources as well to help you build your wealth and to help you grow your business. Make it a great week, everybody. Thank you so much, Sarah. Take care.